Welcome to Vacation Station, hosted by Lisa and Nancy, editors of BigBlendMagazines.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to Big Blend Radio's Vacation Station Travel Show. You know, the Fire Monkey, who is travel writer Debbie Stone, is on our show every fourth Tuesday, sharing her latest adventures. And today she's joining us to talk about her adventures in a place called Ponte Vedra. She's been giving me lessons on how to pronounce this. This is in an area that is really dear to Nancy and I's hearts. St. Augustine, Jacksonville, Florida region, that whole area is absolutely beautiful and super historic. St. Augustine is our first city in this country, I believe. And I think we learned that from Debbie when she was on the show talking about St. Augustine the first time. So welcome back, Debbie. How are you?
I am well, thank you. Glad to be here.
So did I say Ponte Vedra correctly?
Yes, you did.
Oh my gosh, I get a glass of wine at the end of the day today. This is cool.
Yes, you do.
No, wait a minute. Now, do we get wine in Ponte Vedra, or do you get cocktails? I mean, breweries. What is the libation out there? Would you say?
You know, anything goes in Ponte Vedra. You know, I mean, it's a great place, especially if you're sitting on a patio overlooking the water, and you can have whatever you want because anything goes.
I'm all for that. See, that's what I like about Florida. Honestly, the whole state is like, and I think it's so diverse. But you found something super cool. Not only did you go hunting for shark's teeth, that was a whole other thing that I didn't know was going on there. And I want everyone to know that this website, floridashistoriccoast.com. You can also read Debbie's article about her adventures. If you go to blendradioandtv.com, it'll also be in the upcoming issue of Nature Connection magazine, because she did have a super freaking cool nature connection at night. You went out in the water at night. Now, a lot of us would be a little nervous, but I want to get to the shark teeth and golfing and all that. But this is just too cool because this reminds me of when you were in those glowworm caves in New Zealand. I mean, that was kind of
yes.
With all the little wormies hanging down and glowing and
yes.
Right?
Yeah, it was the Glowworm Caves in New Zealand, absolutely, and that's a good connection because there was a similarity because it's dark no matter what, whether it's night or whether you're in these caves, and these creatures have light up, and it's just like the most amazing show. But this one that I did was a kayak experience on this lake called Guana Lake, and the guide took us out, and you go at night and you're in kayaks in this very calm lake. And as you're paddling away and your paddle is moving through the water, these creatures just start to glimmer. They look like fireflies in the water. And as I said in my story, you had the stars above, and then you had these, glimmering firefly-like creatures. And it just was like, to me, it was a very magical experience. And I encourage anybody, if they are in the Ponte Vedra area, that this is something very special. It does not take any type of, you don't have to be some sort of kayaker. You can just go out, and it's just very leisurely. And the guide there, Ben Brando, is just, he's wonderful. He's like a font of knowledge about all the information that you would want to know about this ecological area and these creatures, which are actually organisms. They're called comb jellies, and he got some in a. He captured some like in a container, and then afterwards we got out and he put them in a bucket of water, and then we shined lights on it so we could see these actual comb jellies. And they kind of like, I don't know, they're very, I don't know, amoeba looking, but their habit is that they kind of consume one another. So, we were watching, we're like, oh my God, this one's taking over this one. They're like little cannibals.
That's weird. So what is making them kind of glow in the dark? I mean, that's that's wild because it's only in this one specific region, right? It's not like the
Right. I
whole
mean,
coast.
I think they're yeah, I think they're bioluminescent creatures in other places, in different places, and I've heard about them and read about them. I have never seen them, but it just, I don't know, they came to life when you swirled around, like, so you took your paddle and would like swirl it, and you'd all of a sudden just see them just
Wow. And so were
glimmering
you kind of
away.
mystified, like, because some people would be scared to go out of the water at night. So
No,
was there that kind of mystical,
no.
like, I kind of feel like we're watching Cocoon. Remember that movie? Cocoon? Just,
Well, it is. It's very mystical, and it's very. I thought it was just a glorious experience. I mean, I had never really, other than that cave with the glowworms, I had really not seen these kind of organisms. Well, fireflies you see, of course, but this in the water, and it was just, I don't know, like just marvelous. And so, I really would encourage people to do this because it is one of those really unique experiences.
oh, that is so cool, man. To go out there and then wait, then you go check into the Lottie Daw Marriott Resort. I mean, you go out, I mean, that's like this, I mean, it's crazy. And then you go golfing. Did you no, we're gonna have to get into that. But going back to the ocean, I mean, you went out on the beach with your friend Barbara Golden, and she's from the St. Augustine Ponte Vedra, and the beach's visitors and convention bureau. So their website again, just for planning your trip, because you're going to want to go to floridashistoriccoast.com. But so she's been like hunting for teeth for a while, right? So this is her thing. Like she goes out there and
Yeah, yes, and she likes the beach,
I feel like we're
and the
gossiping
coastal
about
treasures.
her. We're
Yeah,
gossiping
well,
about Barbara.
she's such a cool lady, but she told me that she has kind of treasure hunter blood in her DNA because her great grandfather was a gold miner in Alaska, and so
Hmm.
when she moved years and years ago, when she moved to the Florida coast area, she just started to kind of walk the beaches, and she started just really finding these little treasures and then getting more into it, and learning about what they are, when you find them, when's the best time to look for them, what type of equipment might you use. And so she took me out there, and she had this like little strainer gadget that's kind of attached to a pole, and she used it to and you're walking along right at the edge, and she would like grab some in the strainer, and she would look and see, and she collected several of the shark's teeth and to show me what it is that they actually look like. And they're actually like little triangular in shape. They're like black. They're kind of shiny. But in my mind, it looked like everything else on the beach because there's so many shells because of this type of sand that is the coquina sand, which is made of crushed shells. So it was really hard for me to even spot them. And every time I would spot something, she'd say, "No, that's an imposter. It's probably a turtle shell," or And so it was like this lesson in patience. And meanwhile, she's collecting a bunch of them. And anyway, so finally I found one, and it was really exciting because when I brought it to her, she's like, "Yes," and I'm like, "Okay."
Cool.
But anyway, so I did collect several of them. I have enough for perhaps maybe I could make a bracelet out of them. But it was the coolest. It was just really cool. I thought, what a fun experience. But I never really realized what they look like and how difficult it is to discern them in that type of material, beach matter.
I never thought about that too much either. I mean, in the desert, you find shark's teeth sometimes, and, when we all go out and rock hounds do, but I never thought about, oh yeah, duh, the coast. I thought more about the desert than the coast. Like, duh. We used to actually get those little like egg packets for sharks and
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
And,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh huh.
yeah, it's just, the ocean to me is it's just magic. And you don't what's in there, but you don't, you know what I mean? It's this just amazing
Right.
other world. And I love that you always bring that back. I know we're going to be doing a segment with you about Channel Islands, a national park in California, Central California. And I think that's something that we think about the beach, and the typical thing is always like the palm trees and the white sand and just lazing on the beach. But the
Right.
ocean has so much more than that. And I want people to understand that so much. Like, go look for shells, go look at the shark's teeth, go look at like the rock formations, the tidal pools, get out in the ocean, go on a boat. Go on a boat, Debbie. Did you go on a boat? I have to ask. You didn't go on a boat this time though, but you might have got on a golf cart. Did you get on a
not
golf
this
cart?
one, no.
Did you get on a golf cart? This is important,
No, I did not get it. I did not get in a
Oh.
golf cart, and I did not get on a boat this time.
Okay, but you did get in a kayak and go at night and look at things
Yes, I
glowing in the
did.
ocean.
I did. Well,
So,
actually, yes, I did get in a boat. You're right. I was in a boat. I was in a kayak.
she
You're
went
right.
on a boat. She
Yep.
went on a boat. Everybody do a dance. The fire monkey was on the boat. I love it. You see, but this is what's cool, that you saw things glowing in the water. So I'm like, that's the fire monkey spirit right there. She's attracted
right.
to this. So, but going there, when you think about St. Augustine, when you first came on the show with that story, it was just really cool to remind people that that's the first city, and the history and Ponce de Leon. So this history is obviously all connected for Ponte Vedra, that is all connected because, St. Augustine, Jacksonville, it's all that one beautiful strip. You've got Titusville too in that region. Well, maybe not in the same exact space, but there's just this, there's that whole area to me of the coast of northern Florida. You can get out in the swamps real close too, and then at the same time have these amazing beach experiences all within 30 minutes of each other, to an hour of each other, depending on where.
I think it's a great area for anybody, all ages, because you do have the beaches, you do have a lot of nature, you have a lot of history, like you said with the Ponce de Leon, and you also have a lot of wonderful restaurants and great accommodations. And if people are into golf, you've got golf galore. So it really, I think it appeals to young and old, and many different types of vacation options. I think this area has it. So it's one of those places where, you can go in St. Augustine and get this amazing dose of history. And then you can also, go to Ponte Vedra and really get a lot of nature experience. And so I encourage people to consider this area in Florida, because, a lot of people, when they think of Florida, perhaps they think of, Orlando, or they're thinking of South Florida and Miami, and they're thinking of areas like that. But I would say the north part of Florida is really, really quite beautiful.
I know I want to go back. I just want to go back. Keep sending these stories. I'm like, okay, we're going back now. We're going back. So you went out there and you've got all this history. I mean, this is part of how Florida was founded. Even, I mean, you just go.
Yes.
I mean, there's just so much history, and then there's shipwrecks and there's all kinds of stuff that went on there. But you went into you went on a golf course, and you toured golf courses. And I know you've done Olympic museums like that in, Colorado Springs, and you know more about sports than Nancy and I, but golf is like a whole other thing that we just go, can you give us a golf cart and we'll go look for birds? Listen, if you're bird watchers, golf courses are cool. And a lot of them are using reclaimed water. Florida has amazing golf courses, and you are going to see herons and egrets and, probably hingas and cormorants. I mean, did you see, you went on this golf course, and well, you have what, the TPC sawgrass, and tell us a little bit about this, because you know way more about the golf thing now than we do. But did you see birds?
Well, yeah,
I want to know
now,
if you saw birds.
but I can tell you before. Yeah, no. If you want to see the birds, I suggest. I mean, I found Bird Island, which is right in Ponte Vedra, is this lovely waterfront park, and there is a lot of flora and fauna for the area. But it's packed with wildlife. There was, I saw turtles swimming around, birds, and it's just this very small little waterfront park, but it's lovely, and there's a lot of wildlife in one little place. And it's great. It has a boardwalk, and it's great for kids, and but it's a lovely little spot. But in regards to the golf, I am not a golfer. I really know very, very, very little of the game, and I've actually, other than playing mini golf, I've really not played golf. So I thought to myself, this was, this place is one of the herald legendary homes. It's the home to the PGA and home to this incredible TPC Sawgrass, which actually has two very famous courses on it. One is the Players Stadium course, the other is the Valley course. And the Stadium course, which is known as one of the most difficult, was created to host the Players Championship, which is this, big event, and it's famous. The course is famous for it has a par 3, 137-yard hole, and it's called the Island Green because you're hitting it onto an island. And anyway, so we toured the clubhouse, which is this very beautiful, handsome clubhouse that is, believe me, it's one of the places where you learn all about the top golfers, and there's all this history and all this memorabilia, and it's quite amazing. And we had a tour from a docent who took us around, and so I kind of had like a crash course in golf, and it was right before this big tournament, this big event. So that was kind of interesting. They were getting ready for it. So I mean, if you're a golfer, this is heaven there. It's quite the place for golfing. And it also, though, the clubhouse also has a restaurant, which is called 19, because it's kind of like, okay, it's on the 19th hole. There isn't a 19th hole, but it's on the 19th. It's called 19, and you can look out onto the 18th hole and have your little lunch on the patio, and it's quite nice, quite a lovely place. But I'm really glad I had the opportunity to tour the place. Once again, I would probably, because I don't know anything about it, but I feel like when I left it, I had maybe a smidgen more knowledge than I had when I came in, which was next to nothing.
Well, you know what? I do have a big respect for golf, because I know it's not easy. I did try to learn, and anybody wants to see it, go on YouTube and type in Lisa's first golf lessons, Yuma. And I had a PGA champion golf player teach me how to do this. And apparently my legs work like a flamingo, and that doesn't work for golf. But it is just not, you think, if you don't know anything about golf and you watch it, you go, what's the big deal about whacking a ball? It's like miniature golf, right? And then when you go to play miniature golf, you already know, like, that's not that easy, but then when you go on the golf, no, it's just not as easy as you think. And it's really about thought and strategy. And like, I know Deepak Chopra wrote a whole book that I read about golf. I never thought I would read a book by Deepak Chopra on golf, but it's about meditation and being in focus and in zones. And don't ask me all the fancy terminology, but there is something about that. And then, of course, there's camaraderie. And I think that's also interesting when it's a very good exercise of your right and left brain, and what Nancy and I call the inside and outside. You go running around as a travel writer, then all of a sudden you have to sit down and, leave fire monkey, because if you're fire monkey as a writer, it's like, you're jumping in your chair, right? And that's that zone as a writer. It's like, I still want to go play, I'm still running around. And now suddenly you have to sit down and do your homework, and it's like, oh crap. Even though you have all these things, it's running, how it goes, monkey mind brain, it's going around our heads. We know what we want to say. Then it's sit down. How do we make ourselves sit and be still and get in the zone? So what I find very interesting about golf is you have to get in the zone when it's your shot. And people could be watching if you're on the if you're on the tournament, they just had the Masters, and some young dude came in and went, check me out, and swooped it. It was really cool. You had Tiger Woods. I'm just taking this from listening to the news. Tiger Woods, here he was in a car accident and managed to make it through. Of course, not coming way up there, but I mean, he made it through. And I think that's always, just getting through to the end is always a big deal. And we should never forget that when you're competing, that making it through doesn't matter if you're the last, make it to the end as best you can. That's always an important thing. So there's a lot of lessons, but the thought process to me is, people do this as business. Oh, communication on their chit-chatting, and then they go make their strike. Well, if you're too busy, you're chit-chatting, And you're making, so like, think about the zones in your brain. Okay, we're going to make a business deal. So
Right.
you're strategizing, talking, and then now you have to go make your shot. Now, you don't want to screw up your
Yeah.
shot because you don't want to be the person who screwed up the shot while you're trying to make a deal. So talk about different shift of focus and how strong you have to be. It's very interesting. I think it's interesting. Like,
Right.
the shift of
Yeah.
brain, so neurology, that's where I go with it. And you get to see birds on the
Yeah.
golf course, but you can have Bloody Marys while you go. So, I mean, that can help. Or daiquiris, or
Most
maybe
definitely.
bushwhackers, or just whatever you want on the course. So that part is cool. Did you
Right.
see birds on the course though, like when you're out there? Like, did you see all, because I love the
I
bird
don't.
life out there.
Yeah, I don't think it's interesting because I don't think I like saw anything that was of anything distinguished and like distinct. I think I was more paying attention to the tour in the clubhouse and
Oh
then
yeah, yeah.
looking at the grounds and but no, I have been on near golf courses or around golf courses, and yes, birds do like golf courses. So and especially the water areas with golf
Yeah.
courses as well. But no, I was very impressed. It really is a very legendary place. And like I said, if you're a golfer, you will be thrilled. You can play on the course. The public can play. But so you can get your
Mm.
boasting bragging honors, so to speak, by playing there. But even if you're not a golfer like myself, I found it interesting. I found
Mm.
it really unique and interesting. And like I
Mhm.
said, I learned something, and that's always cool when you learn something, isn't
It's like,
it?
yeah, like we said when you went to the Olympic Sports Museum in Colorado.
Yeah, yeah, the
It's like
Olympic
you're learning
Museum.
about
Yeah,
sports you didn't know.
exactly. It's
Same thing. We went to Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame in Natchitoches, Louisiana, and it's like, I saw
yeah,
Terry Bradshaw on the TV, so I thought that was cool. But in there, but to go to say hi to Terry Bradshaw. But you see, you just learn, and they go in from the high school aspect too. And what we're seeing now too, we've been through a number of golf courses and done interviews on it, and we're seeing there was a period where not so many youth were involved in golf. And then it started getting into, let's do foot golf and disc golf and all these other
right.
different forms of golf. But now
Top golf.
apparently,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, which does sound fun. You know, I want to do that. But now it seems like youth golf is coming back, and a lot of golf courses have made things very like more family centric. And I think women are
Right.
also really coming out more in golf from what we've heard, and
Yeah.
from going on golf courses and being like you, going, I don't know what you're talking about. Don't bunkers and
Right.
birdies and things, but sounds good. But it I think it's neat.
Yeah.
And
It is
so
fun, and it's for me, even if you, like I said, you don't play it, or even you don't even watch it, whatever that sport is, you can go somewhere. Like I was in the Football Hall of Fame in Canton, I was in the Baseball Hall of
yeah,
Fame in Cooperstown, and it's like, to me, these are kind of herald halls, so to speak, or places, and it is fascinating, even if you really don't know anything about it. So I also encourage, once again, people to, if they are somewhere where there is the opportunity to, delve into something, whatever sport, and because it's there and it's important for or significant to that place, then go and see it. Go learn something. It's fun.
I love it. I love it. And you know, it's interesting too because you're staying at well, you went to the clubhouse, and clubhouses are fun because you go eat, and they always have
Yep.
outdoor verandas. You get to you have these beautiful views,
Right.
and most of the time, these golf courses have their clubhouse restaurant set where you get to see the sunset at the end of
Yes.
the day. And it's like, oh, go have a good
Yeah.
time, have a good dinner. But it's always fun to go in, and you have your cocktails and dinner or lunch or whatever it is. And you can hear people coming off the course still like in their mode, you
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah.
booyah, I did this, like you did that, you know what I mean? So it's so cool to hear people's energy in this, cool spirit and fun, having a good time. But this is all part of the Marriott, right? The Sawgrass Marriott Golf Course, Golf Resort and Spa, right? Or is that like separate from where you were? They're two separate places.
It's separate. It's
Okay.
basically almost next door to that. But if you were to be staying at the Marriott, you could go golfing at Sawgrass. But the Marriott is one of the noted resorts to stay while you're there. It's a great resort only because, once again, if you're a golfer, it's phenomenal. But once again, if you're not a golfer, it's equally as phenomenal because they have so many different activities and options in regards to accommodations. And, so they've even got their own beach cabana. So they will shuttle you to the beach, which is very close by, or you can take your own car, but you can go to their private beach area and you can have a beach experience. They have several pools, they have a spa, they have, fitness center, they have, conference space. A lot of weddings happen there. It's, a lot of restaurants on site. So it is, once again, a place where even if you're not a golfer, you're going to find many, many other options and activities, and good for families as well as couples, anything, multi-generational. And so it was a very special place, special property to stay on, and well located as well.
I dig it. And then the food, the dining, sounds like you had a lot of dining, opportunities where you got to see water. And another beauty
Yes.
of, Florida is, I think that's why everybody's so chilled out in Florida. It's like you just, you kind of get that beach vibe of like, why stress,
Absolutely.
man?
It is. It's just a laid back, you get a laid back vibe there, which is really nice if you're on vacation, it's just very relaxed, laid back atmosphere. And the food there, though, is wonderful. They have a lot of, like you said, restaurants that are on these, waterways or with, views. My favorite, I think, had to be Caps on the water, which is well known. It's been there for a long time, and it's the place to go for the sunset. And it's just a gorgeous environment to just sit back. I mean, it's very casual and relaxed, but you're just right there in the water, and the food is really good, and lots of appetizers and lots of entrees and lots of libations, and so it's
sad.
to me one of the quintessential places to watch the sunset and enjoy some good eating while you're there, But there's also a great barbecue place, and that's Valley Smoke, great Southern inspired, and then the fish camp, the Palm Valley Fish Camp, and so if you like seafood, which by now I'm a pescatarian, then I was in heaven, So it's everything from mahi, shrimp and grits, oysters, trout, fried trout. I mean, just lots and lots of good eating.
Valley Smoke caught my attention too because it's got a bourbon library.
Yeah.
Where
you would love that.
Yes, yep. And it's on the Intercoastal Waterway. And I have a thing about these, and maybe it's kind of like where we are now. We're recording from Seattle, but we've been doing like the Long Beach Peninsula and all these areas. And we're like, it's not the beach, but it is the beach. But this part isn't. These intercoastal kind of areas where it's kind of coast and lagoon and marsh. And you get like a whole different kind of thing going on in the water there. And, herons, look, if there's a heron, I'm there. Let's just put it that way. But I think that's really neat.
Yeah, they're fascinating.
Yeah, I think that's really neat to be not, always on the ocean, but have that intercoastal kind of, it's even more of a calmer vibe in a way. I like it all. I like, put me on the water. I don't care where. It's good. It's good. But it really,
I am too.
Yeah,
it's a great atmosphere, And if to me, it's like if you're having any kind of stress, head to a nice place looking over a water, whether it's a lake or a river or whatever it might be. But it immediately brings the blood pressure down.
And go for a walk.
Oh,
That's it. I mean, it's like it really does. I mean, even Nancy and I are desert blood is having a hard time in the being in the Pacific Northwest. We're doing it though. We push ourselves out there in the cold and
Of course.
it's windy and you see people think, oh, look, the sun's out. It's fine. It's like 40 degrees. No, it's not. But apparently it is to them. If you live here, you guys get it and you've got like
Yep.
thicker skin. But we go out there and when you're out there, there's this invigorating yippee-yay coyote feeling and you do get a bigger appetite. You do. You kind of like, oh, I did this, and yeah, you do want wine at the end of the
Yep.
day for sure because you did it. You did it. You went out there, so it's man, it's all awesome and excited that you went back there to Florida. This is all part of your great, your I would say your great southern road trip from Virginia Beach. You did Dry Tortugas, Biscayne National Park. You did Greenville in South Carolina. You did
Charleston. Yep.
Charleston, and you also we're missing a part. Congaree. Yes.
Yep.
So
Yep.
she's been everywhere, man. All right. So we'll be back with you. I know. We'll be back with you next month. We can't wait. We'll be talking about some of your adventures in Arizona, central Arizona. So like the temperatures Nancy and I understand, we'll be talking about what people can do even in the summer year round. You went to some amazing places, Frank Lloyd Wright, and you went to the Museum of Making Music that I've always wanted to go to.
Yeah.
And yeah, you went all over.
Yep.
So we're looking forward to that.
The Museum of Musical Instrument Museum.
Oh, that's right. Museum of Making Music's in California. Sorry. Sorry, it's in Carlsbad. Two different ones, but they're all kind of connected in a way. Yeah, the Museum of Musical Instruments. And they have a wonderful theater there that a lot of musicians that have been on Big Blend Radio have performed there. And I always see the photos there. And
absolutely.
I'm like, oh, I want to go. But I have been to the Museum of Making Music and yeah, they're in Carlsbad by the Gemological Institute. Anyway, like everybody wants to know about that, but actually it's cool. It's cool. You've been to you did the Albuquerque Turquoise Museum and so many friends of ours are going there and I always go, we never got there when we were in Albuquerque and people were going to Albuquerque. I'm like, you have to go there. But Debbie came back and said, most of our turquoise isn't real. You need to go to find out if it's real.
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you got to.
And it's a very cool. Yeah, that's a great museum. I love that museum. So yeah, there's so many good museums, But anyway, if you're heading to Florida, don't forget North Florida. The coastal area is not to be missed.
It's not. It is beautiful. It is not what you would think if you just go. Everyone, Florida's historiccoast.com is a website to plan your vacation. And if you want to go see those wonderful illuminated creatures on a kayak tour at night, go to geotrippin.com and also go to Marriott.com to find out more about the Sawgrass Marriott Golf Resort and Spa. All of this is in Debbie's article, which is up on blendradioandtv.com. Just type in Ponte Vedra and you will find it there, or Debbie Stone. You'll see all our articles there. So thank you so much, Debbie. Everyone, keep up with us at bigblendradio.com. It's always a pleasure, Debbie.
Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.